Hello people, how the devil are you? Let's see now. Sorry, just making sure that we are actually alive and well and living on YouTube. Seems like we are. Hello Paul, how the devil are you? Hello to everybody else who may or may not be watching. Right, so as you've probably seen from the thingamy-bob, from the description, we're continuing this marvellous Alaska flights. Well, as far as I'm concerned, they're marvellous. You may well have a different opinion, and you're welcome to that opinion. So let's have a go. What am I doing here? I'm opening this up, so it's just to make sure that we are indeed flying around. Oh, I haven't got anything started, so I haven't been able to hear you on Unicom at all, so we're not started up. Right, we are actually scheduled to fly take off at 10 to 8 UK time, so I'm just trying to find the right, there we go. So basically this is, if I pull this across, this is what we're doing. So it's going to happening after, so we're going off from Aniak to Bethel, 1800 Zulu, 1850 Zulu takeoff, and that's our CFP for the travesty of a flight that we're going to be doing tonight. So we've got 8 people on board, so we best do that now. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we have cargo pod 1. How much do we have? We have 91 kilograms of cargo, so I'll go there. 91, delete. So we're good. Let's give it some fuel. So about 300 pounds, just over 300 pounds underneath the max weight, which is good. So we're all happy there. Right, 10 minutes to take off. Okay. Let's get rid of that. All the stuff's over here. Navigation lights on, just to show that we're putting power on. Battery. Starters. So all that's going. All the things. All the screens. Waiting for the lines. While that's waiting for the lines, let's get 122.8 for Unicom. Okay, we are looking at flight level 1, so we're 10,000 feet for things, so we'll get that right now. And everything seems to be happy. So I'll get this sorted out. Okay, 10,000 feet selected. We will be doing FLC, which means that we need to we'll be doing an initial climb of 100 knots. There we go. Your damper is on. Initially we'll be going for heading damp and a runway heading. We're going to be taking off on runway when I bring up sim brief. We're going to be heading off on say somewhere. Here we go, runway 11. So we're heading for runway 11. So that's basically in the general direction of that way. So we'll be coming out of here, down, turning round at the end, backtracking down, turning round, and with the takeoff in the general direction of that way. Then we'll be coming round, doing a bit of a circuit, coming back down and joining our course from Amy off to that way, off to the east-northeast, and off to Bethel. So that's the intention. What have we got? 1943, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Okay, nothing for us on sorry, did I say northeast? East northeast. I meant west southwest. West southwest. The right, no controllers in range on VATSIM, which is a shame, so we're definitely going to be on Unicom. There's drone. Oh, there he is. Hello, Paul. In his infamous yet not yellow BJJ1 PMDG 737-700 BJJ1. Looking good. Don't know whether you... Oh, engine start. Is that the APU or the engines? I best get my engine started. So we have fuel. Fuel is on, cutoff is in. Engine condition is low. That's that's good. We have beacon is on because we're about to start, and clear, which we should hear in a second because we've got flight FS realistic. Switch pump. Maybe not. Foot bars, NG rising, ITT rising, torque rising, oil pressure is good, oil temperature is good, loads of fuel, happy days. Right, we'll take that as a good start, and it certainly looks like it is. Right, let's go for transponder settings. Transponder, we want 2000 for the code because we are IFR. And we are an alt. Mode C on the things. Quite happy. Right. Right, we're all set up, ready to go, and so we best whack the taxi lights on. Aniak traffic, Skyways 2123, taxiing to runway 11, backtracking for departure. Okay, brakes off. Rolling. Don't want to kill him. Okay, how many hours head start are you going to give me, Paul? Let's get ready for the takeoff. Aniak traffic, Skyways 2123 entering runway 11 with backtrack for departure.
Aniak traffic, Eden 9, Charlie, taxiing and holding for departing traffic.
See, I keep forgetting the Aniak traffic, the second traffic. I'm a bad bugger for that. Right, let's get a bit of speed up. kill the taxi lights because we're not taxiing. Well, we are, but we're on the runway, so... Okay, that should be more than enough runway for me to take off. So let's do a turn around here. Let's get out of Paul's way. Aniak traffic, Skyways 2123, take off, runway 11. Aniak traffic. And there we go, max chat. Too much talk. That'll do nicely. Alive. Rotate speed. Right. Flaps up. Get the nose up. Let the speed climb.
That traffic, even then Charlie, backtracking, runway 2, runway 11.
One thing I should have done before I started was do that. So now we can get the autopilot on. Happy days. Aniak traffic, Skyways 2123, making left, right hand crosswind. Aniak traffic. Okay, this is above the turboprop, standard turboprop circuit height, so we shall make one more call. Aniak traffic, Skyways 2123 leaving local airspace. Last transmission, Aniak traffic. Right, what I ought to be doing is that. Let's pull back on the throttle a little bit more. Let's get the prop up, which I always forget to do. It's a bit better. Okay, now I can make another right turn. That should take us that turn should take us nicely onto the second leg. We're missing Annie. Let's go for an external. It's down there somewhere.
Aniak traffic, North Charlie, just out in 1-1, heading to flight level 80, maintaining him 107. Charlie.
Right, there it is over there. Can't see our man.
Traffic, Eden 9 Charlie, everyone passing the flight level 15.
Well, I'm assuming this is because of my graphic settings, but I can't see you in the air at all, matey. Oh, there you are. Got you now. Just there. Zooming off into the wild blue yonder. So, where are we with our flight? Well, shouldn't be obsessing IBS. 249. $100 knots, climbing at around about 800 feet per minute. Poles no doubt going up around about 2,000 feet per minute. We are starting to come onto track.
Aniak traffic, Eden 9 Charlie, turning right, heading 220 degrees, then resuming on navigation.
Okay, we're just about on track, so we'll stick the GPS on. Looks like we've got it already. Happy days. So, are you ill, Paul? You sound as if you got a cold or something. It's either that or you've been out, went out for a good night out and you haven't got back, haven't recovered yet. Excuse me while I munch on some chocolate. I have my usual bar of Lindt Lindor, orange flavoured this time, and my pint of Spitfire beer. What were you shouting at passengers for? Apart from because you could and you enjoyed it. Right, there we go, 1,000 to go. Oh dear, yes, very naughty passengers. Bugger. You know what I forgot to do, don't you? I forgot to start SkyTrack, so I'm not tracking this for FlyUK. So what I'm going to have to do is close this down, and I'm going to have to cancel this, and I shall have to do it another day. But it's good practice. Okay, we're at 10,000 feet. Speed is climbing. Never mind, we'll still do the two things. In fact, it will give me because what I got Flight FS Realistic today, but I also downloaded this NeoFly. So let's get this out of the way for you guys. Where are we going to? It was PABE, wasn't it? Right. PABY. Okay. Beans, I screwed that up. I mean, I'll just have to do it tomorrow or some these two. Do that again tomorrow sometime in my own time. What we'll do is I'll have a quick run through this. What we've got right now, that's some things. This is NeoFly 3. I thought I'd download it and have a look-see. So PABE, where we're going now. Things I have done one flight already. So there's my character. Call sign is things. I'm a rank to cadet. I have 59 XPs. Next rank comes up at 200. So it's all these wonderful things that I'm not going to try and go through at any things. If you want to see, I'm not much of an educator, so it's a case of if you want to see how this works properly, then there are lots and lots of YouTube videos, video tutorials out and about. So what my intention is probably is to once we land here, take on one or two of these flights. In Neo Sky, set it up, fly the things. I'll have to change over to my I'll have to change over to the the Cessna 172 to do it. Okay, so we're in the cloud base at the moment, and we have 56 nautical miles to go, 23 minutes. So I suppose we best have a think about landing. So according to SimBrief, we want to be landing at 19 right, or 19 right on SimBrief. So if I bring this over here, so we've got 8 approaches available to us, 19 right. So we've got ILS, 2 ILSs and an RNAV. So if we go have a quick look at let's go to the chart. So we're coming in here. So that's ILSY. Okay. So what's ILSZ? Let's go down, turn around and in. Okay. And the RNAV. Is more or less identical to what's his face? To the ILSY. So we're going to be coming in general direction this way. Let's get rid of that. We're going to be coming along J11. So probably our best bet is to get the ILSY and go direct to Katub, So if we have a quick look at this, go away, we have 4 nautical miles at Kata. We want to be down at 1,800 feet. So straight in at 1,800 feet onto Katsi and down on the things. We are, let's see, Terps, LNAV, LPV, LNAV. So we're probably looking at 320 barra for our decision height.
The traffic, Charlie, descending from Vulnerable 200 to Vulnerable 100, taking up a load of traffic, and then descending down to Silent Road, 1 and then proceeding for the Aniak approach runway 19.
So I'm looking at the wrong one here. We were going for the Y, weren't we? ILS Y. Speed transmit, which is there. Okay. Again, cat up, 1,800 feet, follow down, 320 feet, same as the last one, and down. Missed approach is climb to 1,000 feet, then climbing right turn to 2,000 to direct to roll R and carry out a hold there. Hopefully we won't have to do that. ATIS was 119.8, our localizer is 111.5, and our approach course is 192. Okay, so all looks good. So what we're probably going to do now, so we've got 45 miles to go, that's more than enough. So what I shall do, he's doing his thing, I shall do my thing. Procedures, there are no arrivals, you won't go straight for an approach. Enter. Here be Bethel, ILSY 19 right, that's the one we want. We don't want vectors, we want CATUP. Enter. Fly course reversal at CATUP, that's going to be a no. Minimums is Barrow and it's going to be 320. And that looks like good. We want to load it. Yes. Okay. Looking good. So that's all in there. So 38, 39 knot headwind. Ah, that's not brilliant. So we're here at the moment. We've got a ground speed of 114 knots, a true airspeed of 170 knots. That's thanks to the headwind of 37 knots, then that's what we're kicking around. Doing a bit of crabbing. So once we get to about 20 miles, what I shall do is I shall activate the approach. That should take us straight to Katab and straight onto the things. Once we get relatively close to Katab, we'll start descending to 1,800 feet. That's fun. Right, so we've got 34 miles to the airport. There we go. Okay, sit back, relax, have a bit of a sightsee. I doubt if we'll be able to see oh, it's way ahead of me. Only doing 168 knots though. Not that far ahead. The general direction of over there somewhere, according to VATMap. Or VATSPY, should I say. So in theory I could see you, but in reality I can't.
Charlie entering the Castle, and we are descending into the 180 from FlyUK Creek to West Lantarn, speed 160 knots.
It's flat as a pancake out here, isn't it? Let's have a quick look with the external camera. So yeah, there might be a little bit of a mountain range over there. Doesn't seem like a lot. Seems like the coast over there, with a few hills on the coast. That's what it looks like anyway. This definitely is farming country by the looks of it. Not quite sure what you would farm here, but it definitely looks like farming country. Actually, it looks like more like marsh country, but anyway, enough rubbernecking. Let's get back to the cockpit. What we got? We have 25 miles to go. Okay, so what I shall do is I shall go to procedures and we shall activate approach, enter, and we've got 15 nautical miles. Okay, 13 miles to go. Let's start sorting something out about dropping down to proper height. We are supposed to be coming down to 1800 feet. So let's get that sorted out. Okay. 146, our FLC is there, and we shall start pulling the things back. And Bethel traffic, Skyways 2123, 10,000, descending 1,800 for ILSY, approach runway 19, right. Bethel traffic. Okay, 10 miles to Catub. We have 8,200 feet to go. So we need to pull back a bit more. Okay, 115, 111.5 is in. Both navs. To drop like a stone.
Bethel traffic leading 9 Charlie, we're going to vector behind the light traffic that's coming to the airspace, and we'll come in number 24, landed on the 9 right, Bethel traffic.
Oh, you're not lining up? I'd have thought you'd been down way before. I see you. Oh, you're going to let me land first, are you? Right, roll in the green. That's on that. That's on that. Max prop. Fuel is good. Don't have to worry about the undercarriage because it's permanently down. Let's reset there. Okay, here we go. Bethel traffic, Skyways 2123, turning on final for ILS approach, ILSY approach, runway 19 right. Okay, 1000 to go. Okay, now we want to go into the localizer 1. Course is set. These is set. Approach mode.
Bethel traffic leading 9 Charlie, we also have the light traffic inside the final approach.
Good, I'm glad you could see me because I can't see you. Right, that's established on the localizer, waiting for the glide slope to things. Bethel traffic, Skyways 2123, established on localizer, waiting front, fully established. Bethel traffic. Okay, 158 knots, should be getting there soon. Uh, 1.6 miles to the KC, and glide slope is alive. And the glide scope, try that again, and the glide slope is captured. Let's bring down the speed. Come on.
Bethel traffic, even 9 Charlie, turning on to final minimum approach speed. Estimated final track to runway 19 right, 16 green.
First stage of flaps. Bethel traffic, Skyways 2123, fully established, runway ILS, runway 19 right. Bethel traffic. It's a bit turbulent. We have a crosswind from the left. Feet approaching minimums. It's the mid marker. Okay, I have control. We are committed to landing.
That's how you land an aircraft.
Okay, let's slow down so we can get off here.
Full traffic, even 9 Charlie, still established on the plate for runway 19 right.
Oh, looks like I'm not supposed to come off of here, but I am anyway. It's a nice thing about Caravan, you can go anywhere you like, more or less. Bethel traffic, Skyways 2123, clear, runway 19 right. Okay, strobes off. Landing lights off. Taxi lights on. Let's get the range down.
Bethel traffic, even 9 Charlie, 8.5 DME from runway 19 right. Bethel traffic.
Right. This will do nicely. There's our pool. Let's get the external Right, let's have a look at this. Here comes our man. While he's doing that, let's kill the... so we're not wasting fuel. Back to the showcase.
Bethel traffic, and then a Charlie 4DME from runway 19 right.
Smile, you're on candid camera. Okay, everybody watching, get ready to mark out of 10. Ooh. Looked like you were down on one wheel then. Probably weren't, but it looked like it. Nicely done. I wouldn't park where I'm parking, mate. I came off on the wrong area.
That was some crosswind, that's all I'm saying.
Yes, it wasn't nice. Okay, I am going to log out of this for a second. Okay, before I do that, transponder, let's stick that onto standby, and then we can disconnect out of this. Right, that's disconnected off of vPilot. Now I've done that, I can main menu, world map. Instead of that, we want propellers 172, that's the one we want. and we're going to be at PABE. No, not PABE, PABE. That's the one. We shall set that as departure. And hit fly again. Yes, good question. What are we looking at on here? You're looking at me coming back in, aren't we? Right, let's go VFR. Is it correct transfer? BE time is it local 1944, so we want to be let's go 2000. Altitude let's go 6000. Right. We don't want that. We want this. Oh, my flipping. I think my right. Where are you? Let's reconnect. Let's close that. Let's connect there. Oh, you're over there, are you? Cool. Oh, you're in your little Neo. Excellent. Right, where was I? Oh yes. Get rid of that. Neofly. So we got this. We're at PABE at the moment. No, we're not. We're at PABE. PABE. We're there. Right, so can't use this because that won't. That's probably a bad idea actually. Right, let's close that. Let's try this instead. Sky Park. Okay, we want to be PABE. Right, so we got that one. What's the details on that? 219 miles, expires in 10 hours. Should we go 219 miles? That is a long way to me. It's quite a few. It's about a good hour and a half easily for me to do this, but it's 200 miles. So with you playing about in your 320, that'll be a good flight. You reckon? Well, I reckon anyway. So PAMC is our next flight. Let's go on to SimBrief. Don't want to edit, we want a new flight. Right, flight number, airline, UKV 2123. Depart PABE. Just quickly filling in SkyBrief at the moment. SimBrief. So I may as well do this on the screen. Baby, what was it? What was it again? PAMC. PAMC. PAN to do 2020. We're not going that. We're going for 2000, aren't we? Airframe C 208, just for the hell of it. 170 knots, did whatever. Okay, arrival on 116. See, current route is valid for VATSIM 2016. Okay, so that's a goer by the looks of it. Right, generate flight. Yes. Cool. Happy days. So let's do that. Let us do the doings. I need to go into here, I need to go into there, I need to open that up, and I need to do that. That's that done. So I need to come back out of here. I need to reload again, because that's the kind of guy I am. Okay, while that's doing that thing, I shall be doing this thing. Pre-file. File flight plan, that's filed. Okay, world map. Load. Let's change this first. turboprops, Textron. I won't bother with the liveries. Load. Okay. OneDrive. Here we go. Open. Right, happy days. So that's where we're going. We're not going to be runway things. We'll do that. We won't go on a gate because that'd be silly. Let's go on to that one. Okay, while I'm at it, I shall close that down. Just waiting for this to come in, ready to fly. Oh, you're in a pretend. Right, let's connect. There we are, connected. Flight plan. Fetch from server. Got it. Close. Okay. Oh, sensors just come online. Right, let's get this thing in the air. Fuel. Just worry about fuel. Whack it up. Won't worry about the rest of it. Okay. Power. Power. Not worried about that. Worried about that. Probably not. Where's the VATSM? Oh no, way over there. Okay, so that's Central Canada. Okay. Right. Up and running. Let's get this show on the road. Right, that's there, that's there. Fuel on. Starter engine. Whirly things going whirly. Dials are going green. Oil pressure and temperatures up to speed. Torque increasing, ITT increasing. Happy days. Good start. Okay, let's kill that. Let's 2.8. Cool. Transponder, let's sort the transponder out. Our code is 2000. Right, we are Alt. We're on mode C. Cool. I suppose you best give me a head start again. Yep. Right, let's see, where are we? Down there. Taking off 19. 19 right. So along, 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 along. Okay. Right, Alta is 37,000. FLC, and we'll have an FLC. Let's put it to 1 to 10 this time. Okay, 110 FLC roll. We want heading. Yeah, damper on. Let's go for it. Bethel traffic, Skyways 2123. Taxiing runway 9 via 19 right via Charlie. No idea if that's right, but that's what we're doing. I suppose what I should do is have that open, put that over there. Yep, load the flight plan. Thank you. Open chart list. Right. Echo Golf and Charlie. Thank you. Juliet is in front of me. On Juliet. Right. Turn, yes I'll turn. Thank you. Bethel traffic. Skyways 2123 crossing runway 30 at Delta. Bethel traffic, Skyways 2123 clear runway 30, continuing taxi to 19 right on Golf, Charlie and Alpha. Of course, you've got procedures to go through, haven't you? Checklists. Things. Is that still the fly-by-wire? Oh, sorry, you're in the 737, aren't you? It looks like a fly-by-wire, but 320, but... Probably need it, I'll only be doing about 160 miles an hour. Well, it's me just going past you. Okay, one stage of flaps. In fact, we won't have flaps, so we'll just go for a straight flap. We've got masses of runway, so we don't need that. Okay, let's come to a stop. Landing lights. That would help if we had all the lights on, wouldn't it? Okay. Right. Bethel traffic. Skyways 2123, ready for departures, runway 19 right. Bethel traffic. Bethel traffic, Skyways 2123, taking off runway 19 right. Bethel traffic. We have, that's alive. We over talking. There we go, that's better. Too busy trying to push buttons. Let's hit the Z. Bethel traffic, Skyways 2123, 1400, climbing 7000, turning left, heading 090. Bethel traffic, Skyways 2123, turning left 030. Oh, you got yourself a bit of a challenge, have you? You see, give me a half distance head start. Fair enough. Bethel traffic, Skyways 2123, heading 010. Yeah, but you got to take off and the like, haven't you? Bethel traffic, Skyways 2123, resuming own navigation. Bethel traffic. Right, it's tailwind now. It's 30 knots almost. $300 to go. And coming up for altitude capture. Captured, 7,000 captured. Let's get some height. Let's get some speed up. Right, how's the controllers looking? Reset heading. Okay, 207 nautical miles to go. Hour and 10 minutes. That's for MCG. So again, no arrivals. We have. So a quick look at. Don't need that. Sim brief, and we are going for. Okay, so we're going to be landing 16. At McGrath. Okay, so we have a localizer and we have a RNAV. Stars, no stars, approaches 16, we have localizer DME. We have an RNAV. RNAV looks good. So, we are trundling along. Let's give it a bit more throttle. See if we can increase the speed a little bit. Okay, ground speed's now at 282 knots. A couple of mountain ranges ahead of us. Landing lights. We're in the cruise now. one thing I've realised, as far as I can tell, there's no pitot heat switch that I can see. I wonder, let's have a quick look at the checklists. Okay, provide inspection, fuel select both whatever. Starting, okay. Looks like we're not supposed to switch the pitot. It's either that or it's automatic. So, we're following this. Basically, we're following this river, whether we want to or not. So if I close these down, get them out of the way, get that back onto there, and then select the world map. Bring this across. As you can see, I mean, basically what we are more or less straight lining. Straight along. Okay, we deviate off of it a bit there, but that's basically all what we're doing. We're going along. I don't know if you noticed in Alaska, but it seems that virtually all of the towns and all of the airfields, the big airfields, are all on the coast or along a navigable river. And in this case, where we're going there, McGrath, is along this river. See, Anchorage is on this big bay, Fairbanks is off of the Tanana River, so that's coming up down here, along. So it's before we probably had air travel. Everything in Alaska was basically, if it didn't happen on the river, it didn't happen. And even with air travel, you still confined to the rivers. It's a curious place to be, really, for that reason and that reason alone. So the other side of this big lake, the river is going to be going across and away past us. How you doing, Paul? All happy? Happy fan Dabby Dozy? Right, possibly one of the two is me. One of the two other people who's watching this stream is me on my iPad. But whether I am or not, or counted or not, is another matter. But there are at least one other person watching. So hello, other person. Please let yourself known in the chat, so you can. Paul and myself can say hi properly. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I know it's YouTube, we're supposed to say that. Tell your friends either way. If you're into plane spotting, please search for another one of our Paul and myself's friends, a guy called Jonathan Winton. If you look for his YouTube channel, you'll find masses of pretty damn good plane spotting coverage, mainly from Newcastle and Edinburgh, but he's all over the place as well. He's got videos from Poland, Spain, Portugal, all over the place. He live streams as well when he's able to. Bit of turbulence now. Let's update the heading book. .35 decimal 650. That's the ASO for McGrath. So if we go onto there and go 13. What did I say? 135 decimal 6 5. So when it's in range, we should be able to get the on COM2. So we're listening on COM2 as well. Transmitting and receiving on COM1, receiving on COM2. And it does actually work. Well, it worked the last time I tried it. Right, so we've got this big lumpy bit up ahead of us. However, as you can see from the things, we're actually heading over there. So we're going in between these two lumpy bits. We've got the lumpy bits over there, we've got a ridge of lumpy bits over there. The river we're more or less following is off to our left, I guess, still. It's the big lake I was talking about. You bored yet, Paul? Sat there waiting for the halfway mark? We're about a quarter of the way through now. So look at those nice crisp lumpy bits over there. That's a result of the Orbex Alaska mesh that we've got. Cool, enjoy your snack or dinner, whatever it is you're going to be having. Okay, everything's still in the green. We've still got fuel. Yep, still got fuel. Quite happily trundling on 157 knots. True airspeed of 175 and a ground speed of 184 thanks to a tailwind. It's more of a crosswind than it is a tailwind, but it's still got probably about 9 or 10 knots of tailwind component. So 143 nautical miles from our next waypoint, which is the VOR MCG. We've got 47 minutes to go. Our track is 041, however, because of the crosswind, our heading is 047. So why we've got the difference between heading and track is because the crosswind is coming in this direction. So we've got a component of tailwind of about 9 knots, if you remember your trigonometry from school, and we've got a crosswind component again of around about 9 knots. Okay, so that's 9 nautical miles per hour across there, and we're travelling in this direction 173 nautical miles. So basically, for every 173 nautical miles we go in this direction, we're also being pushed in that direction 9 nautical miles because of the wind. We're in a dynamic environment. It's not like we're following in a car on the road, and the road doesn't move. You don't move sideways on the road because of the wind. In the air you do. It's the same with tides and winds on ships, but that's another story. So in order to maintain a track of 014 to get to MC, we have to actually turn the nose to the right slightly and fly 047. That's to counteract the 9 knots of wind that's pushing us this way. So we're actually travelling. Trying to travel 173 knots that way, so 173 nautical miles that way, and 9 nautical miles that way in order to counteract the 9 nautical miles in this direction. It probably sounds like mud, but that's what we're doing. So if that was in the opposite direction, as in it was 17 knot crosswind from that direction, what we'd be having to do would be turn 5 degrees to the left of the turn, and what we'd be actually doing would be we'd be actually travelling in the direction 035. Again, because we've got that 9 knot crosswind component this direction, we've got to fly that way 9 knots that way at a rate of 9 knots that way in order to stay on that purple line. So, the river we're more or less following is now off to our right, going around in between all these lumpy bits here. So it's going to go all the way around there, and it's probably by the time we get a beam, that lumpy bit over there, the river will be coming back over in front of us. But we're sitting pretty. 130 miles to go. I'm generally leading a merry dance. It's a glorious day. Well, glorious virtual day to be doing some virtual flying. So there's our river, wandering off into the far distance, far horizon. Makes me wonder whether any human beings has actually walked around here, got on top of those mountains at all. In real life, not virtually, obviously. But almost certainly flown across them loads and loads of times, because this is a standard, we're on a standard airway here. The airway number is J120. Don't know what I've done there. It's amazing what you discover when you start pushing buttons, isn't it? These are all the external buttons you can go for the fixed drone camera. So I've no idea what we're doing here. It's better. Let's stick to what we know, shall we? Right, that's coming up for halfway now, Paul, so if you want to get your skates on, now is probably a good time. 115 nautical miles, still plenty of fuel, everything's in, all the green bits are green. Happy days. Still following the purple line, still on track. We got 37 minutes to go. What lovely colours. Alaska is still somewhere I'd love to go. Not that I'm going to go anywhere, but it's somewhere I would love to go. I think if I won the jackpot, this is what I'd be doing. Yeah, I won the lotto jackpot, 119 million. I'd pass me people. Go over to the States, do a block course, get me FAA and CAA PPL licenses, and then just come up to Alaska and just fly around. Fly from place to place. Cool. So that's by okay, we've still got no still have no controllers in range. We've just got the Canadian one, hundreds of thousands of millions of light years away. Exaggeration, I know, I accept. But you get the idea. Right, that's us well past the halfway point. About 3 miles past the halfway point. 30 minutes to go. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Which engine? both of them. APU, number 2 engine, number 1 engine. What's the problem? It won't start. Have you tried switching the plane on and off again? So switching it off and then start switching it on again. It's been a recent update, hasn't there? I blame the operator. And it didn't fix it. What about a hard reset? As in pulling the power out of the plug, out of the wall. You might have to restart the flight simulator. That won't take long. Okay, where's our river that we're following? Can't see it. Looks as though it might be over there. Way over there. And it's going to follow what looks like a valley down there. Or maybe that valley down there. And go way out to the horizon. I think it's safe to say if we was in the real world and we were doing this flight real world in a real world aircraft and something happened, we had to crash land, we'd be screwed. Absolutely 100% screwed. And this, folks, is why you have a flight plan. Cool. Best you get your backside in the air. So, engines ahoy. Let's hope they don't fizzle out when you're halfway across, because this is nothing but empty. I wonder if Jonathan is watching us right now. Let's see. No, still 3 watching. So that's me and one other. Paul? Love to know who that other person is. Whoever that other person is, please say hi. We don't bite. So we have rough bits. It's because of all these mountains we're going over, causing eddies and whatever. Updrafts and downdrafts and basement drafts and attic drafts. And I'll stop waffling now while I switch my mic off so I can munch. Excellent news, Paul. You've got 20 minutes to catch me up. Is that a road there? Looks like it might actually be a road. Maybe not. It's a quick external look. It's more likely a river because it just stops there. It doesn't look as though there's anything there to stop at. Maybe a road. Oh, I see you on VATSM now. Why are you going to PANI? According to this, you're going from PANI to PABE, from Aniak to Bethel. I assume you didn't. I assume you haven't updated the flight plan on what's his face on VATSIM. Yeah, unfortunately I'm going from PABE to PAMC. Papa Alpha Mike Charlie. There you go. That's where I'm going. So, 50 nautical miles to go. Still track 042. Still at 7,000 feet. And about 15 minutes to go. So we're going into there to the McGrath, PAMC, open the charts list. Let's close that down a minute. Right, so as I say, at McGrath there are no stars, so we don't have to worry about that. We have a localizer DME with a DME arc, and or from McGrath we go out at IMCD1 on the localizer course, max holding airspeed to control, cold temperature altitude correction required at or below -46 degrees C. We're not, hopefully we're not anything like that. Okay, so we're supposed to be going over Newquay at 4,000, so that's 4,000. Drop down to 3,800, come back on ourselves, and then drop to 2,600 for Ateco, and then 2,000 vice dropping. We're not going to be doing that, we will be doing that. Okay, so it's a straight in runway. Minimums are 960. Teague, we want to be at 4,900. Okay, missed our approach, climbing right turn to 4,900. And then hold at Teague. Continue climb and hold 4,900. Okay. Final approach course 160. ASOS is 135.65. We already have that in. Okay, so we know what we're going to do. Initial drop down to 4,900, which is a 2,100 foot descent from 7,000. Caddock will go to 3,400, and then after Caddock we drop down to 2,000 for the flight for the glide slope. Right. Okay. I want to do that. Wants to do that. Okay. Progression. There is no arrival. We go straight for the approach. RNAV 16. Enter. TGI AF. That's the one. Minimums are Barrow. What did I say? 960. So let's get that up to 960. Okay. There we go. We want to load. And there we go.
Papa Alpha Lake Charlie automated weather observation 2100 Zulu. Wind 187 at 1 tree.
Okay, that confirms 16 for landing.
400 feet scattered. Temperature 22C, 2.10C altimeter
3021.
Papa Alpha Lake Charlie automated weather observation.
Okay, so we can kill that.
Wind.
So we can switch.
Papa Alpha.
So we can switch COM2 back off. Let's get the okay, so there we go. Okay, so we'll be crossing MCG. So we'll be looking to drop down MCG down to 4,900. When we get to MDC, we'll be dropping that down. So there's our target, initial target. So let's go for altitude select, 4,900. I'll have 7 minutes before we have to worry about that. Looks like it's a bit cold out there. Final look at Alaska from 7,000 feet before we land. Cool, you're right, tanking it. So what's your ETA? Okay, that looks like the river there. So airport, by the looks of it, is along the other side of this ridge. Is that it there? No, it isn't. I don't think it is. Cool. Possible 20. Hello, Alexander. How? No, Alaska is not part of the UK. Alaska is part of the United States of America. It's a shame, really. Originally part of Russia, until the US government bought it off them. Not a lot of people know that. Glad you could join in with us, Alexander. How the devil are you? I don't know whether you do any flight simulators yourself. But what we're doing now is we're coming on the final legs of this flight. So we've got McGrath Airport down just where the finger's pointing right there. And what we'll be doing is we'll be coming up and then we'll be dropping down from 7,000 feet as we head in this direction. Follow this line. We'll be dropping down from 7,000 to 4,900. And then when we get around to here, we'll be doing a turn and coming down and dropping another 3,400 down to 3,400, then 2,000 feet for an RNAV approach into runway 16 at McGrath Airport. Ah, right, okay, yes, and one of the Class E tours is around Alaska. I've done one part. This is just a gash flight on the Sky Park. So we've already done the first leg I was going to do, which was from where was it? Aniak to Bethel. Yes, Aniak to Bethel. We've done that. As I say, rather than carrying on to the next leg from Bethel to Bethel to St Mary's, I've done something completely different, which is McGrath, mainly because I've got a friend who's following along in a 320. Sorry, not an Airbus 320. PMDG 737-700 BBJ. So I wanted to do something with a bit of distance, so he could play around. Right, so we're getting close to 5 nautical miles. Let's drop the range in. So there's our turn. So once we've made the turn, unfortunately this is the default to Cessna 208. Unfortunately the icing doesn't work. So if we do suffer from icing, then we're buggered. But it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Okay, vertical speed. Let's go down. What are you doing? Vertical speed. Thank you. Down. 1,500 feet per minute. That was clever. Okay. Oops. Should have been watching the speed, and I wasn't. I was watching everything but the speed. So it's 1,000 to go. That's captured. Nearly. That's captured there, 4,900. So let's torque back up just to keep the speed up. Yes, I was the collapsed MD-80 with the collapsed main gear on landing. Very lucky people. I haven't. There's a report on it on the Flight Radar 24 weekly email, but I haven't read it. I haven't managed to read it yet. Okay, we're coming up to waypoint Teague, 4,900 feet, and we're in the cloud. lots of turbulence because we're so close to the edge of the mountains. And let's make the turn back onto Selves. Best make a few announcements on VATSIM soon. So we're going to be turning left over the top of that lumpy bit over there. With any luck, we've got our altimeter set correctly. Yes, very, very good. Real life ATC guys really earn their money sometimes. McGrath traffic, Skyways 2123, turning onto final, RNAV approach, runway 11. Correction, runway 16. You are covering the ground, Paul. Right, our next height after this is 3,400, so we'll do something about that. Altitude select 3,400. So we've got to get over to Teague. Oh god, it's the G1000. The G1000 is RNAV capable. So if I quickly come up the progress and say if I go to select approaches, press the wrong button, but you can actually select the RNAV approach and it will do the RNAV glide slope, which is nice. But the default G1000 isn't, but the working title G1000, which is a free add-on, is RNAV capable. So if you have the working title G1000 add-on installed, then you can do our nav ILS that works. So 3,400 selected, which is our next point. Coming over to Teague. Getting thrown about a bit because of the clouds and this spur. Okay, let's do an FLC. Thank you. Drop the revs. McGrath traffic, Skyways 2123, 4,700, descending 3,400, inbound Caddock. To go, 500 to go, sorry. Getting ready for the capture. Get the speed back up. Right, our final drop will be to 2,000. 2,000 selected. Yes, unfortunately there's, as you can see, we're in IMC and it's a bit difficult. Okay, we passed Caddock, we have passed Caddock, let's hit that. McGrath traffic, Skyways 2123 inbound Wash, descending to 2,000 feet on final for runway 16. McGrath traffic. Problem is with old school steam gaugers and VORs is right now in real life all the VOR systems are being decommissioned. Right, so we're captured. Time to hit the approach. Yes. I don't fly in real life, I only fly in the simulator. I like the DA60, the Dreamstar 60.
Just went to him for
There's our mate Paul, he's on.
yeah, then from the 16.
And glide slope captured. Time to pull back there. McGrath traffic, Skyways 2123 fully established. Inbound, runway 16, McGrath traffic. Yes, the Diamond DA60 is probably 62 is probably my favourite to fly. A2A Simulations are going to have just announced their Comanche is well on the way to being released for Microsoft Flight Simulator. That will be awesome when it comes out, and that probably will be my new favourite. What I'd really like is for A2A Simulations to bring out a decent GA twin-engined aircraft. Whether that happens or not is another matter. Okay, our minimums are 960. We're down to 100 knots. Time to get the first set of flaps out. Let's give a bit. $200 to go. Runway is not in sight. Dropping back down onto the glide slope. There we go. Just inside minimums. We have the runway lights. Autopilot off. Bit low. Add a bit of fuel. Take a bit of fuel off. Okay, that's the landing. Zero thrust. Oh, no, bit long.
Oof, what a touchdown. My whole body was shaking.
That was a bit hard. McGrath traffic, Skyways 2123, clear runway 16. Strobes off, that's off, landing lights on, taxi lights on. Looks like we're going to be
McGrath traffic, Eden at 9 Bravo Victor, one final for runway 16.
right. Brakes on. That'll do. Fuel off. And that was that. Right, fuel selectors off. Down here. Normal, normal, normal. Avionics off. You can close. Avionics off. Where were we? Battery. Battery off. And I think we can call that a day. You coming in on 1.6 as well, I presume? Paul? It's a bit miserable here, isn't it? Yes. Yes, I agree with you. It'll be a long time before we lose MDBs, I presume. I would imagine they are very, very useful. But was that you? No, that's the airfield lights. It'll be a while before we get rid of all the VORs, but they will slowly go. ILS is still too useful because of the inaccuracy, the height inaccuracies in WGS 84 spheroid that's used for GPS, but RNAV is good. The big advantage that GPS systems have over VOR is VOR and MDBs is that they are accurate, far more accurate, especially at distances from specific data points like airfields. Far more accurate than VOR ever will be. But the downside is VORs are available 24/7 and GPS isn't necessarily. GPS is subject to the vagaries of the US government. Can't see you yet. Looks like you've just turned final, is that right? Oh, it's very easy to lose satellite signals. And you got to remember is the US government, US military, more things, controls our standard GPS system, and they can turn it off and turn it off, turn it on, make it very, very inaccurate whenever they like. Whoa! Get down! Are you going around? He's going around. Whereas the VORs are just there, and as long as you've got line of sight, as in there's not a really great big mountain in the way, you'll always pick them up, unless somebody switches the electricity off to them, which is difficult to do because 9 times out of 10 they're on, especially the ones you depend on for ILS and the like that you depend on for navigation towards airports are actually on the airports, so they're under the control of the individual airports, and it's impossible to mess about with an ILS signal. Now, once it's set up, it's always at 3 degrees or 3.5 degrees or whatever it's set at. It's always along the runway things, and you can't move, you can't change that. So it's far more stable than GPS. Yes, don't believe for a second the Death Wish, not Death Wish, Die Hard 2, where they flicked a switch and they brought the ILS beam down. Doesn't work that way in real life. RNAV, you can do that. The standard ILS system, you can't. If you wanted to change the position where the glide slope specifically we're talking about here, if you wanted to change the where the glide slope brought you down on the runway, you'd have to physically pick up the glide slope transmitter and move it backwards or forwards. You couldn't do it electronically. RNAV, you can do that electronically. The government has, the US government has full control over that. They can affect the height and location positions. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's very much a case of you have military grade receivers where you can put in specific codes that'll take out whatever signal deviation that the US military puts into it to make it inaccurate. If you've got a military grade GPS system, you can put the same codes in to take that, to unscramble that that deviation coding, and so you're still accurate if you're in the US military or NATO military. Whereas if you're in any other military, it's purely a case of to deny GPS to the civilian GPS to other non-allied military organisations, so that the US military, NATO military, and any other military can still use the high accuracy of GPS, whereas everybody, Navstar we're talking about specifically, and everybody else can't, which is why the Russians put up GLONASS and the European Union are putting up Galileo, So you're not dependent entirely on the US government and Navstar. But even so, GLONASS and Galileo will still have the capability to make them extremely inaccurate, unless you have the right receiver with the right codes. What you got to remember is that all these GPS systems are military systems, which, in order to justify the amount of money the US government put in, were also made available to civilians. So we have the capability of using them, but if the military, whichever military goes to war and they decide, right, that's it, only we're using the GPS system and nobody else is, that's it, over and out, as you say. But the best thing you can have is a GPS system. They are very, very easy to get nowadays, which are 20 and or 40 channel GPS systems that will pick up both Navstar and GLONASS and Galileo. So if one system is causing problems, you can get accurate positioning from the other two, or vice versa. But come World War III, don't rely on your sat nav. They'll be back to paper road maps. See, you're back on VATSPI. You're back on finals, Paul. Oh, that's a lot better. Oh, I agree with you, Alexander. That's not so much a US democracy thing, that's a globalization thing, which is its own beast entirely, nothing to do with democratic systems. In fact, if anything, the globalization is probably one of the most anti-democratic things you could come across. In my view, but then again, what do I know? Where's me cameras? Lost me cameras. There's me cameras. Right, let's get the drone speed up. You see me, you may well be a 737, flying a 737, but on my VATSIM, Paul, you're coming up with the Neo as a 320 Neo. VATSIM playing games. Your problem, as I understand it, Alexander, your problem wasn't so much US democracy as was bad. It was more of a case of you Russian politicians didn't want democracy. They wanted their own. They still wanted the Soviet system, but they just wanted it in a different format. And culturally, Russia doesn't really like strong leaders. You like strong men. You like stability. You like the strong leaders who are able to give you stability, as far as I'm aware. Correct me if I'm wrong. Stability and democracy don't really go hand in hand. Yes and no. The problem with democracy is if you have a minority opinion, it automatically doesn't matter. You can shout and scream as much as you like, but it's whether you're right or wrong. It doesn't matter because you're in the minority, and the majority opinion wins out. That's the whole point of it. It's a case of the decisions are made on the majority opinion, not on the minority opinion. Whether the majority is right or not, whether the minority is right or not, as soon as it's lost the democratic vote, that's it. You can scream and shout as much as you like. At that point, your only option is to try and persuade the majority that they're wrong, and your ability to change the direction of the majority depends on how much of a persuasive, how well you can argue your point, and how persuasive your point is, if you see what I mean. It's a case of, just because you think you're right and you can prove that you're right, it doesn't mean that you get your way. You have to be able to persuade the majority of everybody and the majority of the rest of the people that you are right, and that your proof is enough to convince them that you're right. If you can do that, if you can do that, then that's fine. The only other problem is the only real problem that we're having at the moment is that the majority can turn around and say, we're right, you're wrong, shut up. And that's where freedom of speech comes in. Freedom of speech is there to protect the minority voice. It's not there to protect the majority. So it's a case of, if the majority is able to speak, but the minority is not able to speak, you do not have freedom of expression. You do not have freedom of speech. And if you do not have freedom of speech, democracy fails. And we're in that situation in the West, certainly in the West. We're getting towards that. In the East, you've never really had that kind of freedom to voice your opinion, political opinion especially, because the establishment will tread down on you. We can see that now with the way independent media outlets in Russia has been stifled. and the fact that Ukrainian operation is now is called the special military operation, and if you call it anything other than a special military operation, you're liable to go to jail. That's not democracy, because you're not allowed to say this thing going in Ukraine is a war. As an example, I'm not pulling that up as things, but you see what I'm saying. Democracy is all about power. Democracy isn't all democracy. It's a political system. All political systems are about power. It's all a power dynamic. It's there all the time. It's a case of people. The people in charge go to the people that they're in charge of, and they say, "This is what we think. This is how we want to do it. This is why the things." The people that they're in charge of have a vote. The majority of people, they weigh up the pros and cons. They think about it. They vote either yes or no. Yes, you can do this, or no, you can't do this. If the majority say no, you can't do this, then the people in charge can't do it. If the people if the people who say you can do it win the majority, then the people in charge can go ahead of it. This is a democratic system. As in the people, this is a democratic system that's supposed to happen in the US and the UK, most other things. It's a case of, this is what we want to do. What do you think? Yes, you can do that. No, you can't do that. But it's beholden on the leaders, the people in charge, to go, well, okay, you say we can do it, but you say we can't do it. They've said we can do it, and we've got the mandate to do it, but you say we can't do it. Why do you say we can't do it? And you have to listen to the minority. This is a democratic system. You listen to the minority. Goes, what's wrong with it? And if they'll come up with A, B, C, and D, and go, yeah, we accept it. Yes, actually, A is a good idea. C and B, no, you're talking rubbish there. B, we'll think about it and come back things. Okay, our plan, we'll do what the majority say, but we'll modify it to incorporate point A from the minority. This is how our democratic system is supposed to work. It doesn't always work like that, but that's how it's supposed to work. Yeah. No, as long as you have various factions with differing opinions, it's difficult to have peace. It depends on things, and it's a case of democracy is a way of fighting without actually hitting people or shooting people or anything stupid like that. The democratic process is supposed to be there to replace the military process, if you see what I mean. Doesn't always work. No system is perfect. It does, but it works well enough. When the people in charge and the people in the majority respect and honour the principle of free speech and the principle of listening to all arguments, that's where it goes wrong. Yes, I agree with you. Can still be friends. Somebody has to make the decisions about what happens in a country, or in a government or in a company or whatever, somebody still has to have power to make those decisions, and it is what differs from system to system, whether it's automatic, whether it's autocratic, authoritarian, or democratic, is how the person in control comes to those decisions. Democracy is just another way of doing it. No system is bad in and of itself. It's just that some are better compared to others, and some are worse compared to others. And whether it's better or worse depends on your part in the system and your place in the country and the social ladder. Yeah, I wish you'd tell that to your leaders, because they don't seem to be like that at all. But that's a Western point of view, so it's a case of things. Anyway, it's 11 o'clock here, and we're starting to get way too embedded in political problems, which is not what this stream is about. So I'm going to stop it here, and I hope you folks enjoyed what you saw. Thank you, Alexander, for engaging with the stream and talking to us, even if we digressed quite a bit off of the subject at hand. Enjoy yourselves. Hopefully I shall be streaming again next week, similar time next week, and I'll talk to you all then. Have a good one. Good night.